Hi, and welcome to your very last vocabulary coaching video. We have finally wrapped up everything and we're coming to our last topic, which I kind of combined two. It's recall and extending the vocabulary after the unit. I am so excited to bring you so many examples that you can put into your classroom. You're just going to pick and choose whatever works best for you. So I have a lot to show you, so let's go ahead and get started with recall and extension. Okay, so the whole idea here is that we recall, review, remember. We're going to recall those words from the week that we're working with. Whatever lesson, whatever unit you're on, you're going to recall those words. You're working with them. Then after that, you're going to work with the words from the whole unit or from previous units. This is the review portion. You've already learned them. You've recalled them already. Now you're reviewing them. After that, that leads to remembering the words. Those vocabulary words are now going to be committed into your long-term memory because you've recalled, you reviewed, and now you can remember those words. So here are a couple of ideas for when to do the recall and extension in your classrooms. Now, these are not all of the ideas. These are just some that came to my mind. If you have another idea of when to do vocabulary recall and extension in your classroom, then absolutely do it. So I have 4 examples here. First can be during vocabulary. Add in a written portion to your lesson or do a review day where you've gone over all the words already and you're going to review. Or you could do it during workshop. Create a vocabulary station. This station could have the same activity every week and you're just rotating the words, or it could have a different activity based on whatever unit you're doing. You could do this for early finishers. We all have those kiddos that finish up super quickly and then they don't know what to do. You could have an area in your classroom where they can just go and grab a baggie or an activity of vocabulary words and work on it quietly until it's time to move on. Or you could do some morning work with vocabulary. Pick a day during the week that you're going to have your students work and remember and recall vocabulary and have an activity ready to go for them. So how are we going to recall vocabulary and extend that vocabulary and make it fun for the kids? Here are 4 ideas. Of course, these are not the only ideas. If you have others, then by all means use them in your classroom. First is going to be a journal. The journal is going to have all of the pages the same so that the students understand what to do on each page, but the only thing changing is the information. You could have an activity like a vocabulary map or a ladder. These activities can be done independently. Without a partner, without a teacher, they can sit down and do them. You could do a game, various games, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch today, that you can go and play with 2 or more players. Or we can get a little bit creative here. You can use words in different ways, such as creating comics with your vocabulary word or describing food lists with vocabulary words. So this is one of the most important and honestly most difficult things to do because we want to leave up our examples throughout the whole year. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I leave up all of those vocabulary cards? I'm going to run out of space. I get it. Your classrooms are tiny and you don't have the room to do that. So I came up with 2 ideas to help combat that problem. The first one is creating a vocabulary binder. Something that can just sit out on a shelf that the kids can go to, they can flip through it, and they can find the book that they were reading and then the vocabulary underneath of it. Or you can have me print off mini versions of the cards, and then you can use those after you've taught the vocabulary for that lesson. So let's say you're on Unit 7, Lesson 1. After teaching all of Unit 6 and you've moved on, you can then take down those big vocabulary words and then put up smaller ones somewhere else in the room so the students can go reference them maybe during their games or activities or even during their writing. So I'm going to show you a little bit of an example here. And I just did one unit from 1st grade. This is Unit 6. And what I did was I screenshotted. Is that a word? I don't know. Screenshot? So I just took a picture of the first page of the stories that would match with vocabulary. And then what I did was take all of the vocabulary cards that I've made for you guys and I shrunk them. So I took 4 pages, 2 on a page, and I had to do 4 pages in one so that they become smaller. And then I have Lesson 1 here, Lesson 2, and Lesson 3. So all of the different vocabulary words are on one page. So if I wanted to do a vocabulary book, all I would have to do is hole punch this, and then the kids could have a reference of the stories, which they can remember the vocabulary words better if they have context, and then the vocabulary words, like that. Now, if you wanted to do more of what I was saying with the shrunken cards in your classroom, then same idea here. You're going to take these, you're just going to print them off. If you want to laminate them so they don't get ripped, that's great. You can even put up the story and put underneath the words that matches to each story, and then the kids can reference whenever they need to. So if you would like me to make mini versions of these so you can hang them up, I am more than happy to do that. Just let me know and I will print these off for you. But we want to make sure that when we are reviewing and recalling vocabulary, that we are recalling and reviewing from all units, not just the unit that we're working in. Okay, so let's see some examples. I have a bunch of examples to show you of different things that you can do in your classroom. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly because I don't want this video to be forever long. But of course, as always, if you have any questions on any of these, or you'd like to maybe tweak something and you want some help with it, just let me know and I'm happy to come and help you. Okay, so the first one is vocabulary checkers. It's literally what it sounds like. There are directions on the front so your kids can read it, or you can record yourself reading it, or you can just explain it. But on the back, it's a checkerboard with some blank spaces. Now you can have the kids fill in those words on their own, or you can have these pre-filled already. They're just going to grab some checker pieces. If you don't have checker pieces, you can use pennies and nickels, or you can use 2 different colors of circles or Unifix cubes or whatever. But the kids are going to play checkers like normal, but if they come to a word, they have to use the word in a sentence. If they can use the word in a sentence, then they can move to that space. If they want to do a double jump or a king, or it would be a double jump. If you want to do a double jump, then you have to use both words in one sentence. Again, all of those directions are here on the front, and you fill it in and you go. Easy. The next one is vocabulary bingo. We all know how to play bingo. All you do is hand out this blank bingo board, and you have the kids fill in all of the words from the unit, or you can have this pre-filled in and have a whole bunch of copies with different words in different spots. So you can do this whole class, or you can do this in a small group at your table, or in a workshop group, so they're working with other kids, but bingo. Of course, directions are on the front. Okay, this one is more of an activity, not a game. This one is called a vocabulary ladder. What they're going to do is they're going to work with 10 words. Now, we usually have 8, so what you can do is just leave off this bottom one. What they're going to do is tell you word 1, the synonyms, word 2, the synonyms, and then make a sentence with both of the words. You can keep the same word 1 and 2 all the way across, or you can just have them pull word 1 and word 2 out of a bucket, and then they can change throughout the whole thing. This would be more for like a 2nd and 3rd grade. Bingo, you could do, I forgot to tell you, sorry. Bingo you could do for 1st grade and up. You could do a kindergarten bingo, but I would only use like 6 squares, so it was smaller, and I'd probably use pictures to help me explain what the words are. Checkers, you might be able to get away with this in 1st grade, but 1st grade and up. Okay, then we have another activity one. This is a vocabulary sheet of the week. Up top, you have word, definition, part of speech, example sentence, and mnemonic device or picture. So they give an example across the top, and then the kids would go in and just do whatever words they had for the week. So I didn't read this very well. I just put part of speech. Whoops. So I did gasp, verb. She will gasp when she sees the prize, and then I just drew a picture. This would be good for 2nd grade and up because we don't really start to talk about part of speech until 2nd grade. So there you go, activity. This one is 7 options for vocabulary homework. I don't like giving homework, but if you do, this is the option for you. And then on the back, they have little places that they can draw and write about the words. Okay, the next one is Puzzle Together. They have 3 ways that you can play this game. You just pick which one you like and you go for it. So what they do is they give you a blank puzzle. All I did was I filled in my words from my unit, and then on the back, I did option 1. On the back, I drew a picture of one of those words. and then I can cut apart my words. I can match my picture. This is uniform. And then I can talk about the words on the back as I put them together. I can use them in a sentence, or I can define them, or I can tell synonyms, etc., etc. That would be good for first grade and up. Or you could do it in kindergarten if you have like a group, if you're doing a group together, or you have like a helper. Okay, the next one is more of that creativity. This one is vocabulary comics. So they give you a blank comic like this. They have one already filled in, so this is like a farm one. The one I did was a cat and a dog. And all you're going to do is you're going to create a comic. You're going to look at the words that you have for that week, and you create a comic using those words. They also give you a blank one, so if you want your kiddos to draw their own comic and write in the words, they can. This space at the bottom, they said if you would rather not have the animals talk and just tell about what's happening in the scene, then you can use the blank one on the bottom. All right, the next one, this one is Go Fish. All they had was, on the back, they have like word 10, and then I just wrote the word. Again, you can have the kids do this, or you can do this and have it already. So there's the word again. So there's 2 of each word, and then the kids just play Go Fish. This would be best for a partner game. And all you have to do is ask, okay, do you have the word indivisible? And then they would give the word indivisible. If not, you'd go fish. And then whenever you had a match, you'd have to do something. Maybe you'd use the word in a sentence. Maybe you'd tell me the antonym. Maybe you'd tell me a word family. So that is Go Fish. Again, you could have that already set up, or the kiddos could do it too. All right, the next one is a single game. So this is for a single person. It could be an activity too. This one I just went on education.com. I found a crossword maker. I put in the definitions down here, and then it made me a crossword. Easy. You can also go to lots of other sites that creates crosswords, but I liked the look of this one the best. And I did a couple there so you can see. So crossword. You can also have a cube. This cube is going to tell you what to do with the vocabulary words. So I'd have like a stack of vocabulary words, maybe on index cards. I'd pull a vocabulary word, and then I'd roll the dice to see what it is. So this one says define. I'd define whatever word's on there. It also has connect to other vocabulary words, which is perfect for ours because our units have a theme. Synonym, antonym, use in a sentence, and they said use in a simile, but I crossed that out and did word relatives instead. So that's that one. Okay, now there's a couple of board games, and you can grab any board game, honestly, and just replace the cards with the vocabulary cards. Easy peasy. But this one is actually for vocabulary. So they have a board game here. I'd probably laminate this or put this in a pocket protector. And they're going to have, based on the picture, they're going to have a thing that they have to do with the vocabulary word. So like if they land on this one with the pencil drawing a picture, it says draw the word's meaning. Can the other players guess the word? Or if you have this one with the light bulb above him, it says give a strong definition of the word. So you just roll and go through. And then I have just cards that I printed out. I typed the word, I printed them out, and then you can just keep this with the board. You can even just put a baggie with the words in it and then just change out the baggie to match whatever ones you want to practice. All right, vocabulary Scrabble. This one has a lot of information on it, so just directions on how to play it. This one you do need Scrabble tiles for, because the Scrabble tiles are going to give you the score for each letter. So you're going to write out the word and then tally how much point value it has, and then explain why it's an awesome word. And then you get points for your explanation as well. Here's another board game. This is called Vocabulary Land. This one's a little bit more involved. I'll put it up here. So you kind of follow the path. So here's the start. You just follow the path through. And then based on whatever one you land on, you're going to do that with the word. So I'd have a stack of words, and then I'd land. So let's say this says, tell an embarrassing story using the words blank and blank. And then I just draw 2 cards, and then use those cards to tell an embarrassing story. So that one is Vocabulary Land. This is, I can't pronounce this, Picabulary? It's like Pictionary and vocabulary put together. So basically you're going to draw a card and you're going to make it into a picture and the other people try to guess. This one is a video game. board game. It's basically a board game, but you know, kids get excited about video games. So you have your own little characters that you can cut out, and then you have a key, very similar to the other one. A key on whatever one you land on, that's what you have to do. So if you land on the coin, you have to use the word in a sentence. All right. Okay, now we're going to go more towards the journal side of things. So in the journal side of things, I have a couple of different options, and of course you can take and choose any of this that you want to, mix and match, whatever you want to do. So the first one, this is good for kindergarten and up. For the first one, for kindergarten, I would put the word and the definition down here, and then I'd have the kids draw their own picture. For first grade and up, I would have them fill in the whole thing. This is meant to look exactly like the vocabulary cards that you hang in your classroom. So all they have to do is go up and use it as a reference, draw their own picture, write the word, write the definition. You could even have them turn it over and write a sentence on the back, and you could add some lines too if you needed to. For the next one, this is for a journal. This is 2 in 1. So you'd split this apart and make a half journal. This is a very simple one. So you have a picture, the word, definition, and synonym. Very basic. This one's a little bit more difficult. Word, synonym, definition, word relatives, and picture. Again, this is a twofer, so you just cut it right there. And this one is just a substitution for word relatives, so you put part of speech. That's a twofer, so it'd be a half book. And this one is a whole book, or a whole page, I'm sorry. So you have word, definition, sentence, picture, part of speech, synonym, antonym, and word relatives. So, and you can also, with these journal pages, you can also have some of this stuff filled in already for the kiddos. So like on those half sheets, I could have explore already there with the word relatives already there. There's manage with the word relatives. So then they're not responsible for doing all of the things. They're just responsible for some of them. Here's another example where some of it's filled in. This is a whole page version. So the word is already there. The word relatives are already there. They're going to circle the picture and then draw their own picture and write a definition. So that's totally up to you and what you want your kids to do. And then this one is just a vocabulary map. Kind of the same thing, but a little bit more artsy. So they're going to draw the word here, draw a picture, prefix, root, suffix, part of speech, definition in your own words, use it in a sentence, synonyms, and antonyms. So, depending on your kids and their ability, you can pick whatever you'd like to there. But I did want to show you where you can find all of these things. So we're going to go to the literacy website. Okay, so here it is. You're going to click on the word focus up here. Don't click on any of the grade levels down below. You're just going to click on the word focus. It's going to take you to the main vocabulary page. And as you scroll down, you're going to see the open court stuff there, all of my coaching videos for you guys. And then it says vocabulary recall activities. Everything that I talked about here in the video is going to be on this page. It's going to take a second to load because it's a lot of information. But you'll see that everything matches. All you have to do is click on it, download it, print it, and then you're good to go. So like here's the bingo, the checkers, the go fish, the ladder, there's Scrabble. There's some of the board games that I talked about, etc., etc. Oh, I didn't, okay. But also underneath that, I didn't publish it yet, I guess. Underneath that is going to be all of these journal ones. The journal ones that are in there, these are going to be there as well. Those are going to be Google Docs that you can click on, and it'll take you to just a view mode. If you do want to have those and kind of tweak them to match your classroom, then all you have to do is make a copy, and then you'll be good to go. But those are all of the activities. I think the kids are going to have a super great time with the recall and reviewing and playing all those fun games. So if you want me to make these small cards for you, just let me know. And if you want me to print out any of that stuff too, let me know and I'll be happy to do it. Okay, that's all.